gone through a number of these types of trainings in the past, and I have to say that this one was one of the most well thought out and put together experience that we had. I thought that the game was very well designed. You had a lot of realistic scenarios built in, and lots of them that we didn't think of until we were past the critical point when we realized that it was actually a very, very clear relationship with the reality of what we live. But as we go through being used to these games being just a game, we treated it as a game, and failed, of course. I thought that the game was very well thought out and extremely engaging. Right? It was very engaging. It had a good flow, right? And it kept us on our toes throughout the entire session, right? It wasn't something that you plan. Once you have a plan, you go execute, and you could kind of follow up like most of the prior experiences I had, where we had something similar to a board game, or where you try to achieve a goal. You make a plan, you go through some challenges, and you're done. This one was a permanent surprise, right? There were surprises after surprises after surprises, and you never know. Plus, it's adaptable, and it gets the challenges to be higher and higher in difficulty as your level of expertise grows. And once you fall back and something goes wrong, and you start kind of pulling back in your expertise level, it kind of brings you back up to speed, allowing you to catch up a little bit. So I thought it was, overall, I thought it was a very well thought out program with a lot of options and a lot of situational type of scenarios that were very valuable for us. So we missed the fact that things are not always smooth, and they're not always running as planned, and you have to have a lot of contingencies in place for some of the most dramatic challenges, right? Some of the simpler ones, we kind of looked at them and had good plans in place, but some of the most dramatic ones took us by surprise, and we weren't quite prepared. So I thought that the challenges that were put in place, the type of scenarios that were put in place, stretched us to a point where we have definitely uncovered a number of shortcomings that we have that we need to work on. Some of the takeaways from there were related to mostly planning and how we as individuals tend to love to jump into doing things without thinking too much about structure and how we're going to address a problem. And then the other thing was the fact that we got comfortable in executing a plan. Once we have a plan in place that looked solid and looked pretty good, we got very comfortable in executing the plan and lost focus on the environment. It was a nice distraction, right? I thought, in all honesty, I thought that the technological aspects of it were very well thought out. I liked, moving the phone around and seeing the scenery behind changing. And it gets you a little bit out of that non-stop mode of chugging along, and then it provides a break where you can stop and kind of think of what is your next move and what are you going to do, sort of like we do in real life, right? We keep doing a job, doing a job, doing a job. Every now and then we have to take a step back for a minute or two, relax, take a breath, and then move on, right? You know, I think anyone can benefit from it. The spectrum of challenges that are being thrown at the person could be found in almost any aspects of a business. I mean, you talk about an engineering environment, I think it will fit well there. Any type of leadership type environment, regardless of its, you know, engineering, product management, program management, you know, even supply chain organizations could definitely benefit from that kind of learning. I think it has a broad enough spectrum of options that you could basically benefit from it regardless of the area of specialization you're in. I would definitely plan on having something in this type of immersing experiences done with my entire team, because I think it's something that anybody in the organization could benefit from.